each week. We also crave your feedback and suggestions as we aim to give you the best content possible. At the turn of the 20th century, universities in Germany didn't allow women to earn degrees. But Emmy Noether didn't care. She audited classes at the University of Erlangen, silently, invisibly, until she proved herself so brilliant the university had no choice but to let her in. By 1907 she had earned a doctorate in mathematics. But even with her PhD she wasn't allowed to teach at a university. So what did she do? She went to Göttingen, where the world's top mathematicians, including David Hilbert and Albert Einstein, were reimagining space, time, and gravity. But even there, Emmy could only lecture if Hilbert signed his name to her classes. Yes, a woman had to hide behind a man's name to explain the universe. In 1915, Einstein had a problem. He had just formulated general relativity, his grand theory of gravity. But something didn't quite work. The math didn't guarantee that energy was conserved. That's when Hilbert brought in Emmy Noether. In just a few weeks, she found the missing piece. What she discovered became known as Noether's Theorem, and it's one of the most important ideas in modern physics. Here's what it says. For every symmetry in nature, there is a corresponding conservation law. If the laws of physics look the same over time, that symmetry means energy is conserved. If they look the same in different places, that means momentum is conserved. In short, symmetry gives rise to the rules of reality. Einstein himself later said her work was of paramount importance, yet she still wasn't paid. She only got the title of professor after the war, and even then it was unpaid. Noether didn't just solve Einstein's math problems. She revolutionized abstract algebra, inventing a new mathematical language to describe structures and operations, rather than just numbers. She created the concept of Noetherian rings and built a foundation that's still used today in algebra, geometry, and coding theory. Her students, known as the Noether Boys, carried her ideas into every corner of mathematics. But Emmy Noether's greatest legacy? It was still ahead of her, in the invisible world of particles. Fast forward to the 1960s. Physicists digging deeper into the atom discovered that protons and neutrons were not fundamental particles. They were made of even smaller building blocks, called quarks. And what told scientists how these quarks behave? Symmetry. The same kind of symmetry Emmy Noether had written about 50 years earlier. Then came another mystery. Why do particles have mass? The answer? The Higgs field, an invisible energy field that gives particles mass by interacting with them. And just like with quarks, the idea of the Higgs field came from symmetry, a special kind called gauge symmetry. Here's the mind-blowing part. Noether didn't discover the quark. She didn't discover the Higgs. But without her theorem, physicists wouldn't have had the blueprint to imagine them in the first place. Her ideas became the Rosetta Stone of modern physics. Today, every physicist working on the Standard Model, the theory that describes all known particles, is, whether they know it or not, standing on Emmy Noether's shoulders. In 1933, Emmy Noether fled Nazi Germany. She took refuge at Bryn Mawr College in the US, where she continued to teach, mentor, and inspire, until her sudden death just 2 years later. She never married. She never sought fame. She never even published under her full name most of the time. Yet today, her work is carved into the equations that describe the cosmos. There's a reason that some physicists say Einstein explained what gravity does, but Noether explained why it works. So did you know that one of the greatest minds in the history of science was a woman the world tried to ignore? Did you know that the Higgs boson and quarks, the very blueprint of the universe, were built on a theorem written by someone who had to teach in secret? Did you know that Emmy Noether might just be the most important scientist you've never heard of? Now you do. Did you like this story and want more? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Did You Know YouTube channel.